Please go ahead, Dr. Jackie.
Hello, everyone. Greetings. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from today, and welcome to this session titled Enhancing Social Innovation in Lebanon and in our MENA region. In my position as a co-chair for the MENA region, as well as co-chair for the Lebanon chapter, I am delighted to personally welcome you to this session that takes part during Catalyzing Change Week 2024, and it's all happening under the title of Building the Innovation Sector. Today, we have an exciting panel discussion on this very topic. Social innovation is nowadays on everyone's lips, and many are actively involved in it. However, what we are lacking is the organization and structure, and in some cases, the creation of the social innovation sector. Today, we have with us an incredible lineup of speakers and a fantastic moderator. I want to address my thanks to each and every one of you, and they will share their insights and experiences as well as expertise in the field. Please join me in welcoming our moderator for the session, Abbas Sibai, my dear friend and colleague, who is a policy leader fellow at the European University Institute. Before I give the floor to Abbas, I would like to address all the attendees, thanking them for their time, thanking them for joining this session, and asking them for kindly write in the chat their names, organizations, and where they are joining us from. And also, if you have any question throughout the conversation while our speakers are adding value to this session with their talks, please write the questions in the Q&A box. Abbas, the floor is yours. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jackie. Thank you for everyone who is attending today. I'm really honored today in order to facilitate and moderate this session with our wonderful speakers today. So as Dr. Jackie have already introduced the session, it is part of a mega thing that's happening within Catalyst 2030 as the Catalyzing Change Week 2024. And organized by Catalyst 2030. And this talk is also under the Lebanon chapter that it is led by Dr. Jackie. So today, as what I would like to do as myself, and thanks for Dr. Jackie as introducing me, we want to, within our speakers, to go and to more kind of dwell further on kind of critical junction that Lebanon is facing, the sector is facing, the social challenges, the economic challenges, and environmental ones that we are passing through. However, within these challenges, I believe that, and today I think within our fantastic speakers, we're going to be talking more about the challenges that lie about the opportunities for innovative solution to drive this positive change and empower the communities locally and also regionally, and sometimes also like globally, that our fantastic speakers today can explore further on this. Today, during the session, we're going to be having our guest speakers that I'm going to be introducing in few, and we'll have like kind of, they come from a different perspective fields who share like more insights and experience and ideas more about enhancing social innovation in Lebanon, from entrepreneurship to youth empowerment, sustainable development, environmental conservation. And together, I believe that during the session, we're going to be having more kind of a landscape and obstacles that can uncover the pathway and foster more innovative, inclusive society in Lebanon. Before any further ado, I would like to introduce one of our speakers that we have a panel. We have Jack Jendo. He's an entrepreneur, digital transformation strategist, and founder of Brain Digits. Welcome, Jack. We have also going to be joining us Ilda with going to be a recorded message, and we're going to be sharing more about her introduction during when the time would be in place. and we're going to be sharing with her. She will be sharing with us through the recorded message about Rashid Khair and about kind of the work that she does. So Hilda Nahas, she's the president and the founder of Rashid Khair and the CEO of a fintech organization that's called Neo Ism. Also, we have Lamia Karpour with us, and she is the co-founder and the program director of Tripoli, and she will introduce herself further during the session. And finally, we have Carlos Avizian, who is the founder and the CEO of Wasted Treasure and the programs manager at Greenmount Recycling. So thank you so much, all of you, to join us. I would like to start our conversation first, before we do dwell into kind of opening the questions and kind of starting the seminar, if any one of our panelists would like to add anything at this point. The floor is yours for anyone, Lamia, Jack, Carlos, if you want to add anything, or even Dr. Jackie. If anyone wants to speak, just unmute yourself. Thank you. Yes.
I will say once again, thank you to all the speakers. And I love the diversity and the young spirit. I already feel the energy even before you started talking. So please delight us with your wonderful talks.
Perfect. I think that more people, it's really exciting. More people are joining as we speak. So maybe I would be going forward and ask Jack to share with us. Given your experience, Jack, in digital transformation entrepreneurship, how do you see technology playing a role in fostering social innovation, particularly in Lebanon context? Jack?
I think we lost Jack.
Okay.
It might be a connection issue.
Okay.
It looks like connection issue. Let's move on to another question.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe just to start, I would be rolling the intro of Hilda. She who's like was not able to join us today, and she will be giving like in a few words, kind of introducing herself and what she do mainly at her work in the field of the social development. Let me see how to share the video. I think this one.
Hi, I'm Hilda Nahas, the president and founder of Rashid Khair.
Can you hear and see the screen or no?
We can hear, but not the screen.
Okay, hold on.
And in the meantime, I will welcome the people who have recently joined us, and we'll all listen to the video.
Okay, now can you see the screen? Perfect. Okay, so this is Hilda.
Hi, I'm Hilda Nahas, the president and founder of Rashid Khair, an NGO dedicated to empowering youth and women. At Rashid Khair, we focus on two main pillars of development, the personal and professional. Our trainings and workshops cover a significant range of topics and methodologies, from entrepreneurship to mental health.
Recording.
Mental health is a crucial element in our developmental approach. We use a variety of tools, including arts, to support our mission.
That's Hilda, and she today, as she is one of our speakers. She introduced herself shortly about Rashid Khair and about the type of activities that they are involved in. And through the session, we're gonna be like asking her further questions, and during would be able to communicate further and to dwell more about the type of work that she's being involved in. So I don't, as we moving forward, I think I'm gonna be addressing Lamia, Lamia, who's like kind of like really interesting background, and also like kind of from the field, like really deeply with the field, working with all stakeholders from all walks of life. I want to ask you, Lamia, to tell us about your work, like how kind of you empower vulnerable communities, including refugees. Could you share with us more success stories or impactful projects that you have been involved in that made the difference in some communities that you live or you participate with?
Okay, thank you, Abbas, and thanks everyone for this opportunity. So let me start by introducing Tripoli. Sorry for my voice, I got a very nasty cold. So Tripoli started as a response to the crisis in Lebanon since 2020. For those who don't know, Lebanon went through very, very difficult time and still going through economic explosion, etc. So we wanted to try to support in a more dignifying way. And mainly we were shocked to see how more and more people were dependent on aid, on food parcels, on political parties. And we felt that it's also NGOs were kind of adding to this crisis by making people more and more dependent on those aid rather than becoming self-sufficient. So we decided to create a system that makes people more productive. And this is how Tripoli was born. So basically what we do, we create jobs for a social cause. We try to find people who lost their jobs during the crisis and match them with things, families or project that have a social impact. So from one side, one person will have a part-time job for a period of 6 months. And from another side, someone will benefit from the service for free during a transition period. And during those 6 months, we help them with their, we do very tailored mentorship. So we help them with their CVs, interviews. We try to really identify what are the things that are not helping this person to find long-term jobs. And we work on those things during those 6 months. So at least what is guaranteed is that the skills of those people are improved during those 6 months and their CVs. And the best success stories is when they find a long-term job directly after. So if I want to choose which are some success stories, it's very hard because we have so many nice stories. But I think our model was very beneficial for, I'm going to choose 3 different aspects. The gender-based violence victims is one of the examples that I like to talk about, like when we employed someone who, due to what happened, they stopped working, she stopped working because she stopped believing in herself, etc., didn't want to go outside. And she started to give literacy classes to other women who themselves are subject to bullying, etc., because they cannot read and write. And this match helped this person to regain confidence, because not only she had a job and went back to doing something, she also had a purpose. So she was waking up in the morning, starting her lessons, etc., to try to make other women learn how to read and write. And this helped her transition and go back to, no, okay, I need to go back to normal life and no, go back to seeing people. And this is why we always call it Tripoli. Pulley is just a small pulley, a small push to allow people to re-believe in themselves. In this case, was this woman. Other examples are people with disabilities. We felt that our model was very beneficial because most of the time companies do not want to employ people with disabilities because they have this misunderstanding of how would they do things, how would it work, maybe they don't know what to do, etc. So where we come in by saying you don't have to do anything, even the financial burden is covered by us. All you have to do is just welcome this person on board, and we will be coaching you and the person to make sure that it's a successful situation. And most of the time, at the end of the 6 months, they say, you know what, I don't understand why I was so afraid, and it does make sense, and they continue working with this person. And since we're talking about social innovation, the third example I want to talk about is supporting social enterprises, because there are a lot of new social enterprises that are in the business now recently because of the crisis. And often they don't have the means nor the know-how of how to recruit people. So this is where we come in, and we try to find the right profile for them, and we reduce some of their cost for them, especially at the beginning as startups, to make them at least have some coaching. So the coaching in this case is from both sides, the person who's employed, but also the social enterprises who is still new and who need support, etc. And this also has been very positive because, again, most of the time at the end of the 6 months, they continue with the person that they employed through our model.
Interesting. Thank you so much for this, like, really successful three examples that you gave. I'm pretty sure there's many other to tell, but due to time, I think it would be good to also to hear from other speakers. I think that Jack is back with us now. Great. So Jack, what we've trying to ask you before is, like, given your own experience in the digital transformation and entrepreneurship, how do you see technology playing a role in fostering social changes, particularly in Lebanon context?
Thank you, Abbas. Actually, I tried to talk twice, but my screen was frozen. I apologize. So first, to talk about my background in digital transformation. What is digital transformation? I do help governments and organizations to transform every operation, either it's a government, a public service, to transform it to a digital application or a process. Now, with the use of AI, we're having like more opportunities, but unfortunately, we're not able to implement those opportunities in Lebanon because we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the right leadership, definitely. To keep up with my advanced skills, I go around the region, and fortunately, there are some countries like Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates trying to do that. So we're somehow trying to keep things going in the region, because I believe that whatever we do in the region, it will impact somehow the whole region and support our country. How would digital transformation support Lebanon? I don't see our country rising again in economy and education and all the multiple crises that we have without digital transformation, because we can build a great infrastructure and transform any service, any right that citizens and residents have in Lebanon to become valid within a month. And we know that this kind of infrastructure cannot be built for years now. We're talking about economy. We can become a hub of digital transformation. Talking about security, we can increase and we can create actually a secure environment. Talking about education, we can create a customized education. The challenges that we're having now is different than when we talk about social impact around the world. We're talking about global challenges. When we talk about Lebanon case, we're talking about the basic services that people don't have access to. So if you need a small document now, you cannot get it because we don't have paper. So this is why digital transformation is really crucial now. And with innovation, we can scale it very fast. But again, we do have all the human resources. I believe that now, as a solution, it would be like to invest more in the entrepreneurial mindset and in the digital transformation together, because it would be like the best combination of using the resources properly in a smart way, turning our problems into opportunities, and with the help with the digital transformation to minimize all the risks, all the costs, all the time to do that. And we have a lot of examples that people raised from other countries that raised from the ashes during the World War II, after the World War II. And that example is Estonia and many other countries that transformed their country in a couple of months. And we would love to have this in Lebanon. We're going very slow because we don't have the right leadership yet in the government to have it in a proper formal way. We're doing it with the ecosystem. The ecosystem is the players, is the social enterprises, the entrepreneurs, the experts, the incubator programs, like all the group programs, all the communities like Catalyst, for example. But unfortunately, it's moving very slowly in Lebanon. So we need to somehow give it another push.
You're muted, Abbas.
Thank you. Thank you. I was saying that thank you, Jack, for sharing this with us. It's like really unfortunate that the economic situation that we're passing through and the different crises that we're doing. But this will give me kind of hope that we can see Lamia that is still doing it, still with all the challenges is doing it. With different level of communities. You are a positive example, and this will give me kind of a good transition to see a very young entrepreneur also to share with us and to give us like a different insights about how could be using this transformation and the social innovation maybe is not highly digital, but how he's kind of engaging. So I would like to move to Carlos, our fourth speakers, and to talk more with Carlos about the sustainable waste management, as we all know that Lebanon have passed through a very rigorous challenges on waste management, and we're still trying to figure out what's the best solution and with other. And here we move to have different insights from Carlos, who work on sustainable waste management as a critical issue, not just in Lebanon, but on a global level. So Carlos, how can Lebanon leverage innovative solution such as the pioneered by Wasted Treasures as your initiative and your enterprise that you're working on to address the environmental challenges and to promote sustainability?
Good evening, guys. Good evening to the guests, to the fellows, fellow panelists, and everyone. First of all, it's an honor to be here today, to be speaking next to all of you. And thank you, Jackie and Abbas, for facilitating this panel. So regarding the question, I believe Lebanon, like many other countries, is currently dealing with major environmental concerns, and that's due to regional instability and like many other factors. But however, like these issues can provide us with a unique chance to lead us into, to innovations that can transform these problems into, long-term solutions. And that's actually what we do at Wasted Treasures. We proved this potential by working on converting waste into biomass energy. And after fuel prices for heating started rocketing and, started increasing, we started providing cost-effective, clean, and safe alternative to traditional fuels such as the diesel and the gas and others. So we did this while demonstrating the economic feasibility of sustainable practices. So we promote the importance of treating the waste as a valuable resource rather than seeing it as a problem or a liability. And to address, on another note, to address environmental challenges and promote sustainability on a national level, I think it is crucial that we continue to support ongoing efforts that are put from local stakeholders, such as Lama. A prime example of this innovative waste management business models are the one of Greenmont Recycling, where we are offering convenient door-to-door waste pickup services. We do that for free. We offer incentivized recycling programs, and actually we were successful at establishing partnerships with over 15 municipalities in the Babda region. And we reached to over 1,500 households. And that's enhancing like the participation and efficiency in recycling efforts. So I believe by adopting such plans on a nationwide, we can solve the significant catastrophe that we are heading towards, which is basically the closure of the biggest landfill in Lebanon and different landfills. So we're speaking about the closure of Costa Brava, and based on our conversation with the Minister of Environment previously, Nasser Yassin, it will probably take place in summer, and villages will be mandated to take care of their own waste. So Just on another note, also an example of this support for the sustainable, it's organizations like Beritech, I can say, like, or other initiatives. We are currently in an accelerator which is called CleanTech. So it's based on catalyzing clean technology ideas by assisting startups in the energy, waste management, transportation, and water sectors. So they do provide support through financial grants, specialized trainings, and strategic market access. So they empower their participants also to scale their operations and refine their environmental strategies in an effective way, but driving forward Lebanon's green economy. So this program is just one of the many that illustrate how collaborative, efforts can lead into impactful advancements in sustainability. So to wrap up, yeah, just to quickly, actually, if you don't have much time, we can go ahead to the other question. Go ahead, Abbas, please.
It's not, no, because like what you were sharing is a kind of the perfect transition, as we can see what Hilda on the recorded that we had on mental health, we had also on unemployment, inclusion with disability, economic transformation, and also environment. This type of kind of beacon, like kind of a different initiatives that tackling different levels of challenges that we're facing in Lebanon. And this would give me like an opportunity to ask all the speakers is a question that whomever feel comfortable to answer. Please go ahead. Is like, and Carlos have had it about the other initiative in Lebanon that are trying to support other social innovation and entrepreneurship. Collaboration and partnership are often essential for driving this social innovation in Lebanon, what I believe. Could you share kind of more an example and successful collaboration that you participated in, and highlight maybe if you would like to highlight the key factors that contributed to their success? I don't know who would like to start.
I can start.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Sorry, Jack. Okay. So for us as Tripoli, we definitely rely on partnerships and networking and everything for our referrals. So people who come to we don't have people who come and ask us we need a job. We actually go collaborate with NGOs, municipalities, universities, and they can refer to us either a person who needs a job or a family or an entity, a small business who needs a service. And this is how we work on the matching system. But also, like one of the things that was really very positive is that we bring continuity to things that NGOs, for example, has started. They would do lots of training on specific topics, and most of the time, after those trainings, many don't find a job. So this is where we feel like the continuation is very, very positive and makes sense. Another very good example of collaboration was with universities who are now working with people with intellectual disabilities. And again, like at the end of the university, they are struggling to find places for their students. And this collaboration was very, very positive because they know the students and they can give us feedback on what to pay attention to, where they can be placed, etc. And we again give continuity to those 3 years of studies and make the transition much easier into employment. So I believe like by collaborating and partnering, we reduce lots of efforts and it makes much more sense.
Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you, Lamia, for sharing. So we already heard, like with Carlos, incubators, you mentioned NGOs and universities. I don't know if Jack have something to share with us.
Yeah, definitely. Like partnerships are really essential in moving forward with social impact, because sometimes you're like completing each other with not just ideas, think tanks, also with resources. We've partnered like and as Brain Digits, and we've partnered with sometimes with municipalities and programs like UNDP programs, for example, that aims to support municipalities. So instead of bringing the investment directly, for example, to build the infrastructure, we make like a hub of transformation where social innovators, startups come and brings ideas to that city to, for example, fix the road, for example, from the holes. Instead of just go and invest the money there, we create a smart way to fix the holes with a mobile application or with a specific material that can be more sustainable, and do that. And we're transforming this way all those resources to those innovators, to those startups. You're building a sustainable company. At the same, that venture, that company, that team is becoming more innovative with doing that. For example, for traffic lights, for example, for education, and so on. Definitely universities are essential because sometimes we start from empowering, inspiring students from the university to go and do that in their region. Schools, incubator programs. For example, in Tripoli, we had an idea. We discussed an idea to fix the holes in the road from companies who are selling tires, for example. They print their logos on the hole, so you would be covering that. And another app in Matan area, it was like a community app where you register the hole, you vote for it. Instead of fixing your car, you would fix that hole, pay like $10, and you fix that hole. Definitely, this is crucial because sometimes you might be taking over the role of the government, so the responsibility of the government. So it needs a lot of awareness. And at the same time, when you're creating a venture who is doing that, you would also open the door for a partnership with the government later on once we have the proper leadership in the municipality. So it's like a win-win situation for everyone, and it's keeping everyone working in a more sustainable and long-term approach. More than that, all those enterprises, all those ventures are staying in Lebanon. So they decided first to finish university and leave the country. Now they have something to work for, they have a mission, and they can be doing the work with other countries remotely or traveling instead of going as a full-time contract and leaving the country.
Thank you. Like, really, Carlos, do you have something to share?
Actually, like a real quick story that we currently jumped on. Basically, and at Greenmount Recycling, we wanted to, add a new cluster, add a new village to our, waste recycling and waste gathering routing, and we added the Hamdoun to this cluster. And actually we did that through including or approaching, basically they approached us, like 8 social champions from this community that approached us, and we worked on a couple of months of trainings and capability building, and working with these people to become their community leaders. And after 2-3 months of working with these people, we sent our first truck to this village, and we were super surprised by very surprised by the results that we had, actually, because the truck came in very full. So this was very for us very a testament of understanding the partnership between private and public sectors, and how to do it with the municipality and the people, and how to join this kind of efforts together. So this is a very nice story for us to see, and to build on for partnerships for later on.
That's really interesting. Thank you for adding this, kind of more what's what I want to ask. There have been said about there would be some agencies that taking over the role of the government, and in a sense of the NGO or the universities, or but also this hope of communication that's taking place, and the positive opportunity of the private public partnerships that is happening, that could move the situation and enhance the innovation sector in Lebanon. This brings me back to Jack and his experience in the UN as a UN senior fellow on human rights. How do you see the intersection between human rights and the social innovation?
Oh, yeah, but
Sorry? Can you hear me?
So you got disconnected again.
Okay, yeah. So what I was saying, I'm referring to you as kind of, based on your other hats, like one of the many hats that you wear as you as a UN Senior Fellow on Human Rights. How do you see the intersection between the human rights and the social innovation, and what role can technology play in advancing both into the sector?
Yeah, definitely. The intersection is deeper into all the rights. Whenever you're doing any social innovative activity or event or project, you're definitely targeting human rights. It's about supporting all human beings and whatever SDG, for example, you're targeting. I see definitely technology as a crucial tool to do that. And with more, like always technology comes to solve a problem. We never have a technology that comes to create a problem. Definitely we have always challenges, but it's always to solve problems. And with me, like whenever I started to think even in the business field as a human rights senior fellow, when I joined the UN 6-7 years ago, the whole environment in those companies and even in the projects that I do, it's more human. You're definitely focusing on making, focusing on your KPIs, focusing on profit and business. But whenever it's about human, it's more like focusing on that social impact. Now, if you follow every SDG, there is a big opportunity to tackle those problems into solutions that create actually those ventures, those companies. So this is why we try to combine both, like human rights and entrepreneurship and digital technology. And I'm gonna share a small story, because earlier I was like wearing two hats that were split. So whenever I'm in the UN, I was thinking as a human rights fellow. Whenever I'm in the entrepreneurship and digital transformation field, I'm just a technical strategist. Whenever I combined both, I launched a platform in the UN in the minority fellowship program. I launched a platform that is pure based on a digital platform that connected 250 fellows around the world, and we were supporting each other. So, and the UN, the technology and all this stuff is a bit like, let's keep it like at the minimum impact. And when I created that platform, it was like, oh, it's really helping us, especially during COVID. Again, in the region, I created a platform for early detection of human rights violation. And it was like really obvious that technology would boost all the efforts of all the agencies in the region, UN agencies in the region. At the same time, when we talk about human rights in politics, in business, in any enterprise that we're working on, we're talking about more impact, and definitely we're talking about making more to helping more. This should be the title in every business whenever we're talking about human rights, about integrating things. So somehow I combine both words in myself, and I encourage others to always think human in business, in entrepreneurship, and think entrepreneurship and digital technology in the human rights.
That's really kind of insightful insight about how to bring the two different worlds into one. I think that I would jump into kind of to share kind of how Ilda like kind of managed to share with us like kind of more on mental health, as she's working at Rashid Khair. Let me know if you can see my screen. Yes, good. So
Yes.
I'm going to be sharing Ilda message.
It's like limited access to education.
So Ilda is talking.
Environment initiatives face several challenges, like limited access to education and economic opportunities, cultural barriers, and gender-based or most probably vulnerable-based discrimination. At Rashid Khair, we're directly addressing these challenges. Our approach involves tailored workshops focusing on entrepreneurship and vocational training, specifically designed to break economic barriers, along with the life skills trainings to complete our focus. We collaborate closely with local communities and fellow NGOs to ensure our initiatives resonate with the Lebanese culture and values. We also also advocate for policy reforms and challenge traditional gender roles. One of our secret ingredients is our last workshop that provides a safe space for mentorship and dialogue, empowering our participants to voice concerns and support each other in the middle of the various societal changes and challenges. Blast's impact is transformative. We see it through the changes in behavior, awareness, and the communication created.
And this is kind of the like one of the example that Ilda shared with us today on things about like how they are working through this kind of the part of the mental health as kind of more issue, not recognized. Mental health is a global issue now and increasing, not in Lebanon, but also like how could be the mental health efforts and kind of the arts as in Rashid Khair that they are involved. So she kind of summarized with us about how they are contribute and Rashid Khair to the social innovation and the well-being in Lebanon. Now, after we have heard more about different initiative, I think it would be also interesting to talk more because at the beginning, Lamia talked more on the refugee and the inclusion for that in the introduction that we talked. So working in also in Lebanon that we are now passing through really kind of as we are situated in a fragile and a conflict and we are on brink of a war that we could be passing through. It would be good also to tell us a little bit about working in the conflict affected region, pursue the unique challenges, and how do you navigate these challenges while implementing the project to empower communities and prevent peace building aspects within your type of work?
Well, that's a very good question and very challenging one. In Lebanon, we wake up every day with a new story, with a new reality, and I think that the only way we can navigate is by being flexible and adaptive. And this is something we need to challenge our donors and people who work with us, that we cannot stick to everything we hope to do, but we can turn them into maybe something better or adapt it to something that can work with the situation. So that's for me the key. We live day by day, and like one of the ways we manage, like one of our key ways to deal with this problem is, first of all, when we create matches, for example, we make sure that they live close to each other. So to one, reduce transportation that also fluctuates from a day to another. It's becoming super expensive. Two, in case of any security incidents, everyone is close to their houses and they can go back, and it reduces threat of having something on the way. And plus it creates also more community by, like, when someone is working with someone from the same community or close to them, it creates more neighborhood bondings. And many of our matches, we try to mix people. So we would have sometimes a person from a certain background working with people from another background. We create lots of matches that reclaim public spaces, because in Lebanon we don't have opportunities to mix. It's everything is very segregated. Our schools are we see the same people all the time. We go to the same places all the time. It's divided by religion, social class, etc. So we rarely have opportunities to mix and talk. And this is like some of the jobs that we create are jobs that we just invent, that don't necessarily exist. It's not necessarily with a company or with a family. So for example, it can be movie clubs, it can be events that someone has over a period of 6 months to create. And this is where we try to mix as much as possible refugees, Lebanese, etc. So they get to know each other in a different way. One nice example that I like to give is, for example, in Tripoli, we have issues between two neighborhoods. We try to employ one person, for example, as a nurse in the house of elderly who are from another sect. And when they work there for 6 months, after like the whole community was protecting the person who's working in this neighborhood because they were there to provide a service. And this is like through our work, this is how we try to mix people and to reduce those stereotypes and those fears that are most of the time inexistent, but you just invent them because we're used and we hear them, etc.
That's really kind of really different and challenging environment that you're working with. I want like now, as like we talked more about kind of challenges that is happening locally, I would like to ask Carlos, who's also involved in kind of locally acting, but part of also globally engaged as a curator of the World Economic Forum or curator of Global Shapers Beirut Hub in particular. What opportunities do you see for Lebanon to position itself as a hub that you are working and involving in for entrepreneurship that you are engaging in Lebanon particularly, but more into the region? And since we have a little short time, if you can be brief, so we can move also and have a good session.
Yes, thank you, Abbas. Actually, I had like previous conversations with the World Economic Forum, with the headquarters, and I was actually able to kind of, make them support us in ways because we had the hubs here closing in Lebanon, and we were able to secure like full support. In brief, I can say this endorsement and this support can be valuable to, leverage it in different ways. I believe there is, their newsletter, they're like a very huge connection network database, and they're like people that are involved with the World Economic Forum that we can leverage for, attracting worldwide players and different, interested like financing sides. So yeah, I can see this as an exceptional opportunity for increasing awareness and attracting towards this sectors that we are building and we are working on. Back to you, Abbas.
Yeah, thanks, Carlos, on this aspect. I would like to ask Dr. Jackie is to share more about her insight. I'm pretty sure kind of you have a vast background in this also, and other to share with us. Please go ahead.
Thank
If
you,
you have
Abbas, and thank you, everyone. I've been delighted to listen to all your talks and your inspiring stories. Actually, I knew that when I chose you to be our speakers for today, and I chose Abbas to moderate, knowing all your backgrounds, and I really appreciate what you do. I'm going to go very quickly into my notes when I was hearing you talk. To mention as keywords that called my attention from your talks and tell you why I wrote them down. Ilda mentioned the cultural barriers, the mentorship, one thing being negative, the other being very positive in her journey with mental health, which is a big issue nowadays, and it's directly related to well-being when we talk about mental health. Lamia, first of all, get well soon, my dear. I can see you're very sick. I really appreciate you being with us today. So take care of yourself. What you're doing is creating jobs, which is something wonderful. You mentioned purpose, having a purpose, which is a key. Having, sorry, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so, oh my God, sorry, it's a call getting through. You also mentioned continuity, which is, in other words, sustainability that we all are seeking. Jack, you mentioned very, very hopeful comment saying wishing for Lebanon to become a hub in the region despite all the problems that we have. Also, you mentioned that in some cases we are taking the role of the government, but positively, you said that maybe that will create a partnership with the government later on, which is perfect. And you also mentioned that through what is being done, you are stopping the brain drain in Lebanon and maybe in some other countries from the region, which is something excellent. And Carlos also mentioned very important keywords. One of them is long-term solutions. We're not talking about just a solution. We're talking long-term. Also, he mentioned cost-effective solutions and innovative solutions. Now, all these words that we heard from our speakers added to collaboration, partnership, solving problems, co-creation, this is, dear attendees, what makes what we are talking about. This is the base and the foundation of the sector, of the innovation sector. All these key words and key actions and key impact that is happening in Lebanon and in our region, this is what all mixed up will be our salad, if you want, to create the social innovation sector. In the inauguration session, the chief facilitator of Catalyst, Jarou, said something that really impacted me. She said, imagine a house, it's there, and you have one room, you have another, it has everything inside, but you don't have the electric system that connects everything together. You don't have the plumbing system that connects everything together. I love the metaphor because we have the initiatives. They are there. They are you. They are your organizations. And yes, we have few speakers today, but each one of them mentioned at least 2 or 3 more organizations having impact on the ground and happening in Lebanon and in the MENA region. This is our foundation. If we connect the dots, then we would be creating the social innovation system, which is the title for our Catalyzing Change Week. And I'm very optimistic, just as every one of you. We acknowledge the barriers, we acknowledge the challenges. I loved what Lamia said. We wake up every day to different challenges, and we all know that. We cannot commit 100%, not because we don't know how to commit, but because our surrounding, our environment is not allowing us to commit. So this is, despite everything and every challenge, this is very positive. I want to thank you all. This has been a very insightful session. Abbas, thank you for being an excellent moderator. Lamia, Ilda, Jacques, Carlos, I'm sure you have been a motivation for every person who listened to you now and every person who will be listening to the recording of this session. I didn't see any questions from the attendees, but I think it's time to end this session. Thanking you once again, all of you, and thanking the attendees. In particular, I want to thank Jacob from USA, who has been very interactive in the chat, interactive with each and every speaker and sharing comments and sharing links. Thank you very much, Jacob. So, and thank you once again, all of you. Thank you, Asma from Catalyst, for coordinating also with us this session. And goodbye, everyone. Please stay tuned to more sessions, very insightful ones from Catalyzing Change Week. You can see them on the website of Catalyst. And I think Asma is going to share something telling you how to become a member and how to more information about Catalyst, right, Asma?
Thank you so much for the insightful session. Honestly, it's been a great learning experience. I'm just aware of time, so I've already shared the links in the chat, and it's also easier for you to directly, go through them. Yeah, because of the time constraints, I will not go through the slides, but they are in the chat, so I'll give you a minute or two, and you can just copy them yeah, thank you so much again for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Asma.
Sure.
Great. That has been a wonderful session. We are still on air, as we say.
Yeah. Yeah, I
While
didn't
people
see
can
this,
copy the links, it was despite the challenges of this of internet connection for Jack, and that at the end Ilda couldn't be with us joining due to her work. We wish her all the best, but she managed to send the videos. Really, I mean, I know each and every one of you, and I love what you're doing. You have my full support, and I'm very proud of our members at Catalyst 2030, the Lebanon chapter, and as well as the MENA chapter. Please, all of you, stay tuned to our feature session launching what is called the MENA Manara. A lot of insightful talks in there as well. So don't miss it. You can find it all on the website at Catalyst 2030 and Catalyzing Change Week sessions. Thank you again. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
goodbye, ciao.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.